like, how's he going to feel if? Well, obviously, I don't think he'll give a toss given the fact that he went out. But England could lose the Six Nations because they didn't have this warm-up game. I mean, it's certainly an excuse that could be levied. So, and I think rugby kind of look down on football. They think whenever there's COVID breaches, they're like, oh, it's those daft footballers at it again. Hurrah! But just as bad, man. If probably more so because these guys do profess to be gentlemen and all that other bollocks, and it turns out they're just as bad. So obviously that's a sweeping generalisation. I realise. Yeah. But, all rugby players are gentlemen is about as true as the fact that all footballers are ruffians, But, so I think they've really let themselves down there, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think... and like we said, we said so many times that, the work that the ECB and the sacrifices that cricket has made over the summer, that West Indies and Pakistan cricket has made and Australian cricket has made to come over here, that the England cricket players are going to make, who are going to go over to South Africa sort of next month. It's. I think rugby union. I think there'll be players from the if the sort of the Rugby Union Players Association or union or whatever it is will be absolutely fuming at this, because if this was footballers, they would be all over the back pages,
absolutely abused,
they'd be absolutely getting slaughtered, and it'd be unbelievable. And and I don't mean that I don't mean like that it should. I'm not saying that it should happen to these people. They are idiots.
Yes,
the people they don't deserve to have their lives ruined over.
Of course not. Yeah. That's just...
But you have to sort of it's just
the privilege of being a professional sports person. Yeah. Particularly now, you're awarded the privilege of playing sport professionally when people aren't allowed to play it recreationally. And the fact is you cannot stay in your hotel room for a couple of days so you can play rugby at Twickenham for the Barbarians. Then you know what? It's a good job Rob Shaw's going to America, man. But okay, so that's. I think
if you look at the kind of Jofra Archer goes home on the way to lives near the ground, so he nips home before he goes to Manchester. He goes back up to Manchester. He literally nips home, and because of that, he gets pilloried in the press, called unprofessional. Mrs. has to literally, he had to sit in his hotel room for another week. To self-isolate, to sit in his hotel room for a week while people were playing cricket outside his hotel room window at Old Trafford, and he did it and put up with it because of one stupid mistake that he made, and the fact that but that was an individual thing that he did wrong. The fact that these people planned this and decided to do this as a group, and no one said, "Hey guys, we're in a massive hotel.
Maybe this isn't a great idea."
With the Barbarians, this is an excuse for a piss up anyway. We have a piss up all week, and then at the weekend we play some really fancy. They're pretty much the Harlem Globetrotters of rugby union.
It's disappointing,
but they couldn't do that. It's so literally what you said, disappointing.
Okay, so moving on to some good news. England's women were crowned Six Nations champions today without even having to play, as Scotland managed a last-minute 13-all draw with France. So, I mean, let's be honest, if England don't win that by a country mile every single year, then there's something wrong, given the fact that, they are a fully professional outfit and the other five teams are not. But you know what? You've got to beat what's in front of you, and they've done that, thoroughly professionally, and they do that professionally every year. So congratulations to England's women on their win today. Just one last thing about rugby before we leave it there. Okay, we'll talk about domestic rugby. So Exeter yesterday won the Gallagher Premiership title. They beat Wasps 1913 to secure the double, because last week they won the Champions Cup by beating Racing 92 31-27. So to be honest, even with the sort of with Wasps having half the squad isolating, it's the same thing. You've just got to beat what's in front of you. And I think so. I don't know if I've mentioned this on the podcast, James, but I mentioned to you on many occasions my utter disdain for the pundit Matt Dawson. And he was at it again. This is before the Champions Cup match, where he was saying that if Exeter don't beat Racing 92, then it'll be the biggest upset in the history of rugby, or something utterly moronic like that. So the thing with Exeter is they've played second fiddle to Saracens for so long that even so it's great that they got over the line against Racing and won the European Cup. That was fantastic, but. So again, you would look at the Wasp squad with 15 players out through COVID and stuff, and you think, right, Exeter are going to win this at a canter. So at what point do Exeter look at that and think, right, this is our chance? Saracens have been punished for cheating for years and years. This is our chance to be champions. Do you think the fact that they didn't win by a bigger margin was the fact of the total weight of expectation that was on them by idiots like Matt Dawson writing stuff about like that?
I think it's a case of sort of people's expectations being sort of, like you said, is like you bestow sort of greatness on a team after they've achieved sort of thing, and you look back at it's the old thing, put your medals on the table, isn't it? That's the sort of thing. And let's be honest, if you think back, probably the greatest kind of like team achievement in my kind of like sporting career is probably sort of Manchester United doing the treble in 1999. That's for me. That's probably the biggest,
of course,
kind of like,
100%.
But then if you actually think back about that, they win the actual European Cup in the last minute, with 2 last minute goals, Sheringham and Solskjaer. They, Peter Schmeichel saves a penalty in the FA Cup semi-final, and they end up winning the sort of league only within sort of in the last sort of Arsenal pushed them all the way in the league that season as well. So actually, by the sort of barest of margins, the cricket, the England winning the World Cup last year, were a great team, but they scraped over the line. It doesn't matter how much you win by, as long as you win. And Exeter got themselves in the position and they won. It's like you said, they've been runners up to Saracens 5 times in a row. There've been 5 Premiership finals in a row, but this was their kind of first European final, and they won it at the first sort of time of asking. And it's a brilliant kind of it's a remarkable kind of performance. And yes, Saracens have been weakened, but I think you'd have to be a very one-eyed Saracens fan to say that they didn't deserve the punishment that they've got.
No, certainly not. Certainly not.
Yeah.
And football can learn a lot from that, I think, given how many teams do similar things. But
I think Exeter. I genuinely think Exeter. This is, I wish they'd see sense and change, not even the name, change the branding. Yeah. So they didn't have a stupid mascot. Sorry, they got rid of the mascot because that could be deemed racist, but they've still got.
They're still the
yeah.
Something, and I think it's the one thing. I was really happy. We're going to slightly talk about Durham for a second, but on the 2020, Durham were the Durham Jets for a couple of years, and then all of a sudden, a couple of seasons ago, they dropped that, and they're just Durham again. And you don't need these names, man. It's I just don't get the Leicester Tigers. Just Leicester, man. Come on, But So I wish Exeter would do the same there. But I think hats off to them. That's a really good achievement, and well done. Well done. Let's talk cricket, James. So I have to thank you, James, if you'll indulge me. I think your idea of picking a team for the IPL has absolutely revolutionised my interest in that tournament. I absolutely love it now. So, unfortunately, the team you picked were the Rajasthan Royals. To say that it's been a roller coaster week would be very, very accurate. So.
Yes, absolutely.
So I tell you what, so let's go back to last Saturday. Now, last Saturday, in the last podcast, we sort of previewed it as being like a massive day for Derby and stuff like that. So you had the Merseyside Derby, you had the Old Firm Derby. They were both on at the same time. Which one did you choose to watch, James?
I was actually watching Rajasthan Royals.
So was I. Given the fact that I mean, I think I made a throwaway comment in the last podcast. If Rangers and Celtic were playing out my back door, I would shut the curtain. But I fully intended to watch Everton Liverpool.
Yes,
and then I noticed that the Royals were playing at the same time, and I'm like, I'm gonna watch that, and like immediately regretted it because we got thumped by 7 wickets. But so that started off the week, and like Stokes has really struggled since he came back. So that was like his second game back, and he wasn't making like more than 15 or 16, and managed to squeak a win on Monday. They beat the Super Kings quite easily, as it turned out.
That was although Ben Stokes didn't turn up, Josh Butler really turned up.
Yeah, he really got them over the line there. But then the probably the most frustrating one that my children were really frustrated because I had it on in the car. They were not fans, but it looked like. I think a stuttering performance is probably the sort of best way. I mean, Stokes made 30 off 32, and he just couldn't get going, and nobody really could. And they set Hyperbad like a really kind of measly 154, which it was looking a lot worse. And then Jofra Archer sort of had a 7-ball 16, which kind of put them over 150. But and it was really kind of. They were saying, the batting conditions are really poor, and they were wondering why Warner had put them into bat, because David Warner was Hyperbad's captain. And it basically turned out that when the dew fell, the ball was zipping about, and it was a lot better for batting. Hyperbad, let's be honest, they cleared up 154 quite easily. And I think that. I remember even texting you saying, I think that was the game if we needed to win. I think the Rajasthan Royals had to win that, or else the kind of hopes of top 4 were gone. But then in the intervening days between Thursday and today, kind of results really the Royals really, and nobody really pulled away. And at this stage of the tournament, with 2 games left, people are. The top 4's pretty much decided. However, James, Ben Stokes turned up today.
Yes, and, he did turn up today.
So Mumbai Indians, who are the top team, they set 195. So set Rajasthan Royals 196 to win. And even the most optimistic of Royals fans, of which I do not count myself amongst them, saw them do anything there. But my goodness, I think a 60 ball, 107. Man, just absolutely stunning. Like absolutely stunning. And when he plays like that, it's just an absolute joy to watch. An absolute joy to watch. I think we are in the presence of greatness.
I think we are. I think he's had some important knocks over the last couple of years, hasn't he?
One or two. I don't really remember them, to be honest.
But just to put in context, there have only been 4 centuries in the IPL this season. Sorry. There's only been 5. There's only been 4 people have scored centuries this season in the IPL. It shows how remarkable that is. So Josh Butler, like one of the great all-time great sort of T20 players, has never had a T20 century in any form of the game. So that shows really how rare they are. You've only got 120 balls, and so if you're not going in an opener, you don't really have a chance to do it. Ben Stokes, it's not his natural position, but he's started opening, and the kind of performance he put in today was listen. It's we really have enjoyed following the Rajasthan Royals this year, and but we acknowledge it's not on the same level as the 135 at Headingley. It's not with his score at Lords in the World Cup final. But on a sort of technical kind of level, it almost was at that kind of level of just destructive hitting. And again, not just slogging the ball around, genuinely like stepping up the levels and starting to smash it and turning on the afterburners when it was. And basically scoring 196 runs, they could have. It could have been another sort of record-setting sort of score if they had another 10 balls left or something, and the rate that Ben Stokes was going at the end, that could have been another 30 runs. Or something,
it was unbelievable, and I think it's just glorious to watch, and it's just since he's came. I mean, he's only just